It's not like they need the degrees. They need the degree as an access route to come into the country. So a lot of these people get their priorities shifted real fast.
So it's really about getting into the UK.
Exactly.
And then
It's not about the education.
job, hopefully.
It's not really about the education.
Are you to say such a thing? Why are you portraying yourself on other people if you went to the UK because life was hard for you? Do you think life is hard for every other person? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time of seeing my face, hi. My name is Obehi and I'm a mom, a social worker, and a content creator based in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Here, I basically share my life experiences, hoping that you learn something from me and I learn something from you. I am excited to have you back here today. You guys have been totally amazing for all your emails, your comments. I appreciate every one of them. And like I always say on my channel, if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about or you want me to talk about, always leave me a message or an email and I will make sure to answer as promptly as I can. On today's video, today is just going to be a chit chat. There has been something that has been on my mind that I wanted to talk about, and I felt like, yeah, why not talk about it today? Last week, I think it was in the beginning of last week or in the middle of last week, I do not remember for sure, but I know that a Nigerian YouTuber gave an interview to BBC saying Nigerian students just traveled to the UK because they wanted to get greener pastures. They are not really concerned about education, that they are just going because they want to, jackpot, leave Nigeria. And I'm like, who are you to say such a thing? Why are you portraying yourself on other people if you went to the UK because life was hard for you? Do you think life is hard for every other person? You don't talk like that because you feel, one thing I've come to realize is that people are very good at projecting themselves on you. They look at you, they look at themselves, they just believe that, okay, because me and this person has two eyes, two ears, one head, everything. So whatever is happening to me is happening to them. No, not everybody leaves Nigeria because they are broke or they are suffering or they cannot eat or they are just looking for somewhere to run to. Most people did not even have to sell any of their properties to be able to leave Nigeria. They just upped and left because they felt, let me try somewhere else, or let me just go and see what's happening somewhere else. So I cancel him for saying that people just come because they want to get greener pastures. That is a no-no. Like, I don't know why he said that. But on the other hand, he's a content creator. He has the right to say whatever he wants to say. It's his mouth, So that aside, why me I have come here today to talk about it is because I kind of had a feeling that this thing was going to happen, but I did not know how soon it was going to be. Of course, I'm not into the UK politics or anything, but I knew it was going to happen. In 2020, when I got into the UK, it was just at the end of pandemic. They had just left Brexit. So things were a bit hard in the UK. Like, you could hardly find food on the shelves when you go to the store. It was difficult. And one of the major reasons that the UK left Brexit was because of the free flow of people. People, because they were part of EU, people could leave Poland, Czech, Lithuania, wherever, and just come to the UK and live in the UK and work in the UK. And because they live in the UK, or because they have like a legal status to be living in the UK, so they could get free healthcare from NHS and all that. And the UK government was like, these people are taking our NHS, we want our NHS back, blah, 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 blah. And then they said they were going to vote to leave the EU. And that was what brought about Brexit. So after these people left the UK because of Brexit, these people are the people that do care jobs in the UK. Most of them, when you go to most care homes, the people that you find there at that time were a few Nigerians and mostly people from the EU, Lithuanians, people from Czech Republic, people from Hungary, and all that. So those were the people that were in the UK that were doing the care job. And so when Brexit came along, all those people left to their countries. So that put like a shortage gap in their healthcare, in a lot of their blue collar jobs, low skilled level jobs. So when these people left, all those jobs became open. And because of COVID, they have spent so much money paying about 80% of salaries to people, even without them going to work. So people were not paying taxes, but they were still paying salaries. They were supporting small businesses and all that. So the economy was really, really poor. Because they had left Brexit, there was no free flow of, transporting goods within the EU. So at that point, when you go to the stores, you find out that most of the shelves were empty. It wasn't so bad then. I think it's getting worse now because I have friends in the UK. My mother-in-law lives in the UK. So she has told me that things are getting worse. When you go to stores, you hardly find food on the shelf, like that, things like that. We know there's inflation everywhere, right? But the UK, because of Brexit, it's kind of cut supply chain and stuff like that. So things became a little bit harsh for the UK in general, right? So I feel like now, disclaimer, let me just put the disclaimer out there. I am talking based on my own experience and my own opinion, right? We all have our own opinions to things, and you can kindly share it in the comment section. Please, no fighting, housekeeping, no fighting, no quarreling. We can just exchange our ideas, learn from each other, and move on. Please, no quarreling, no fighting on this page. Thank you, and God bless you. So, back to my story. So, when that happened, the whole Brexit thing and all that, there was shortage of jobs. Care homes were struggling to fill those positions. And with the pandemic, a lot of people discovered content creation, making money online. So people didn't go back to work. A lot of people did not go back to the workforce. So they needed people to fill the workforce. And as we all know, what is the easiest way to fill workforce in any country? Any country. The easiest way to fill workforce is to open up the borders, put some immigration policy in place that will enable people come in easily. So I feel like that was one of the major reasons why the post-study visa was put into place. Because before the post-study visa was put into place, people were still going to UK as students, but they only had 4 months to look for jobs before they could go back to their country. So most people were not applying to the UK anymore. So people changed routes. Some people started applying to the US. Some people applied to Canada. Some people went to Australia. Some people went somewhere else, and most people stopped going to the UK because it doesn't make any sense to spend thousands of pounds to pay for school fees in the UK. And after paying for school fees, you finish your school, 4 months, you don't get a job, and then you are asked to up and go. So the only way that it could increase revenue was having students come, students would pay school fees, stuff like that, and the economy can, kind of grow, because as you're coming as a student, you will pay rent, you will buy food, you will pay council tax, you will do this, you will do that. It will boost the economy. Money will be in circulation, right? So yeah, those that I feel like I think that was the reason why post-study visa was reinstated. And when it was reinstated in 2020, in came with students. So the inflow of students started coming. So students were coming in number. And because you can come in with dependents, a lot of people started, migrating with that. People were coming. So they were expecting to make money off students, but they were not expecting the number of students that were going to come. They were not expecting that number. They didn't expect it to be that much. I'm sure in the history of migration, this migration after COVID to the UK will be like the highest they've ever experienced. Personally, that's what I think. So they were not expecting that to happen. And when that happened, it kind of threw them off balance. So they were looking for a way. What do we do now? How do we change this policy? How, most times with policies, you kind of like want to make it look like, oh, I'm doing this policy not because I want to be wicked to these certain people, but it's just because of this reason I'm doing this policy. So that was why that young man came into play. He was the bait that they needed to kind of portray that we're doing this because Nigerian students are just coming to, have they forgotten how much money they took from us to allow us come study there in the first place? When people tell me, Obey, I want to go to the UK to do my master's, I usually say, what's your plan? After master's, what's your plan? Because I know a number of people that have done masters in the UK and couldn't get a job after doing masters in the UK. They couldn't get a job with their masters in the UK. Majority of people will finish their masters in the UK and have to go back to Nigeria and then come back maybe later to come and do healthcare or social work or whatever. Right? So I feel like that guy was just a bait. Now, with immigration policies in every country, they usually have a goal. Like in Canada right now, they will tell you in 2020, we want to bring in X amount of people. In 2021, we want to bring X amount of people. They have a goal. So once they get to that quota, they will end it. Now, let me just chip in this candid advice here, this unsolicited advice. With immigration policies in any country, if you want to get into any country based off whatever immigration policy, as soon as it is put into place, as soon as an immigration policy is instated, please jump on it. If you give it time, it will maybe the process might become too difficult, or maybe they might just completely even shut the door. That's my own candid advice. Back to the UK story. So that guy was a bait. Personally, I do not like UK's immigration policy for anything. I feel like it's anti-immigrant. UK immigration policy is anti-immigrant. Even for nurses, skilled workers, their immigration policy is anti-immigrant, because if I am working in your country and I'm paying taxes, why am I not allowed to have access to public fund? Why? I'm paying into the pot, but I cannot take from the pot. How does it make sense? So when I saw that post-study visa the post-study work visa thing and the whole healthcare thing, I knew that it was just because there was a gap they needed to fill. And as soon as they fill that gap, they will shut their door. So, in as much as people are angry with the guy, yes, you overtalked. I agree that you overtalked. But this was something that was going to happen anyway. It was going to happen. It was bound to happen. It was just that there was no timeline to when it was going to happen, but it was bound to happen. And another thing again is that the way people were kind of, I'm not faulting anybody, right? We're content creators. You kind of put out there, you kind of put out what you feel will generate the results you are looking for, right? So people will kind of put on YouTube and say how I relocated to the UK. How I relocated to the UK. You are going for a student visa. You are going for students, and you are going on a student visa. And you're saying how I relocated to the UK. So all those things, they must have seen it and got irritated and be like, oh, so these people are coming and are not even planning to go back at all. Okay, let's close our door. So yes, it was bound to happen. That guy was just a bait. I don't remember his name, but I'm going to put his picture somewhere here. That guy was just a bait. It was a bait to say this is the reason why we're doing what we're doing. So anyway, I finished ranting. I just wanted to rant today. I know people are having a blast there. There are people that have lived there for years and years and years and years. You understand? So what's good for the goose might not be good for the gander. So So yeah, I just wanted to rant, and thank you for listening to me rant. Please, in the comment section, can you just tell me, if you're in the UK, tell me what you think about what I said. If you were there in the beginning when this policy was put into place, please share with me. Tell me if you think what I said made sense. Do you agree with me? If you don't agree with me, can you please leave your opinions in the comment section? Let's continue this conversation. Thank you for watching. And if you watched to this point, have you subscribed? Why have you not subscribed? What are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when I post another video. And like I always say, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Send me the long email. People have been sending me emails. Some emails are so long that I'll flag it, put it on the side, and later come to it. Send me the emails. I will look for time to answer you as best as I can. If I don't have an answer to the question, I will link maybe a YouTuber that I've heard talk about it or a website that I've seen it on so that you can go on there and get the information you're looking for. But anyway, we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching, and until we see you again in my next one, have a lovely day.
Everything reminds me of you. I can't take no more. Girl, I think I'm losing my mind. Try to go to work, but I lost track of time. Cause everyone keep looking like you. I can't take no more. I miss your touch from your hands and your body. It hurts so